Welcome to Final Curtain. I'm Donald. Today we gather to remember iconic figures whose journeys have reached their final chapter. Their talent, dedication, and influence shaped generations and touched millions worldwide. Join us as we honor their remarkable contributions across film, music, and culture, celebrating lives that will forever be remembered and continue inspiring future generations. Phil Garner, known throughout baseball as Scrap Iron, built a reputation defined by toughness, determination, and a relentless approach to the game. Born on April 30th, 1949, in Jefferson City, he grew up in a working-class environment that helped shape his strong mindset and disciplined attitude. At the University of Tennessee, he developed into a reliable infielder with solid hitting ability, showing early signs of the competitive drive that would carry him into Major League Baseball. He made his MLB debut in 1973 with the Oakland Athletics and went on to play for multiple teams over a 16-season career, most notably with the Pittsburgh Pirates. His biggest moment as a player came in 1979 when he helped the Pirates win the World Series, contributing key performances during their championship run. Known for consistency and leadership, he played in over 1,800 games and earned multiple All-Star selections. After retiring as a player, Garner moved into managing and later led the Houston Astros, guiding them to their first World Series appearance in 2005, a milestone moment for the franchise even though they did not win the title. In his later years, he faced pancreatic cancer with courage while remaining connected to the sport. He passed away at the age of 76, leaving behind a legacy built on grit, leadership, and lasting influence on the game. Nick Pope, born in England in 1965, began his career as a British civil servant working within the Ministry of Defense, following a traditional professional path before later becoming known for his association with discussions on unidentified aerial phenomena. In 1991, he was assigned to a small unit that reviewed reports of unexplained aerial sightings, a role that involved assessing public and internal accounts that often had conventional explanations but occasionally contained incidents that remained uncertain. After leaving government service, he moved into writing and media, becoming a public commentator who appeared in documentaries and interviews, where he discussed UFO reports in a measured and analytical way, encouraging discussion based on evidence rather than speculation. His approach made him a recognizable figure in conversations about unexplained phenomena, balancing curiosity with skepticism. In his later years, he continued to engage with audiences through public appearances and media work, maintaining a consistent presence in the field. He passed away in April 2026 at the age of 60, with his family remembering him as a devoted and caring person. He is remembered both for his government work and for his later role in shaping public dialogue around unexplained aerial reports, as well as for his calm, thoughtful manner and willingness to explore complex questions without exaggeration or alarm. Jack Patrick Russell, born December 5, 1960, became widely known as the lead vocalist of the American rock band Great White, where he played a key role in shaping the group's blues-influenced hard rock identity. As a founding member, he helped guide the band through the peak of the 1980s rock scene, a time when glam metal dominated mainstream music. What made Russell stand out was his vocal approach, which leaned less on aggressive rasp and more on clarity, control, and emotional expression. His singing often moved smoothly through melodic lines, before rising into strong high notes, giving the band's music a distinctive balance of power and polish. This style helped many of Great White's songs maintain lasting appeal beyond their original era. Throughout his career, Russell was often recognized for both his technical vocal ability and his ability to bring feeling into live performances, which contributed to the band's strong connection with audiences. Over time, he became a familiar figure in rock music circles, especially among fans of the 1980s hard rock and glam metal movement. Reports have mentioned that he passed away following health-related complications, though full details have not been widely confirmed. His work continues to be remembered through the band's recordings and the influence he left on rock vocal performance. What began as an ordinary day ended in tragedy when 28-year-old influencer Damaris D. Martinez lost her life in a fatal highway accident in Paramus, New Jersey. According to authorities, she was struck while attempting to cross the southbound lanes, and the incident involved multiple vehicles, leading to fatal injuries at the scene before emergency help could make any difference. Martinez was known far beyond her online presence. She had built a meaningful connection with a growing audience of nearly 50,000 followers through content centered on beauty, cooking, shopping, and everyday life. In recent times, her posts often included moments with her young son, Cameron, which added a deeply personal and heartfelt dimension to her platform. What made her especially relatable to many was her openness about her past struggles. She spoke candidly about surviving sexual abuse and domestic violence, and she used her voice to encourage and support others facing similar challenges. Her message often reflected resilience, healing, and faith, which resonated strongly with her audience. Her sudden passing has left followers, friends, and supporters in shock and grief, remembering her not only as a creator but as a mother, survivor, and someone who used her platform to bring honesty and hope into difficult conversations. Craig Shakespeare was a respected English football figure remembered for his quiet leadership, strong work ethic, and deep understanding of the game. Born on October 26, 1963, he built his playing career as a dependable midfielder who earned recognition through consistency rather than spotlight. He spent a major part of his career at Walsall FC, making over 350 appearances and becoming a key part of the team. He also had spells at Sheffield Wednesday FC, West Bromwich Albion FC, and Grimsby Town FC, each adding to his experience and reputation as a hard-working professional. Later, he played for Scunthorpe United FC before moving into non-league football. After retiring as a player, he transitioned into coaching, where his influence became even more valued. He worked with several clubs, most notably Leicester City FC, where he stepped in as caretaker manager in 2017 and earned the role permanently for a period due to his steady leadership. He later served in coaching roles at Everton FC, Aston Villa FC, and with the England national football team, where he was appreciated for his calm presence and tactical insight. He passed away at the age of 60 after an illness, leaving behind a legacy defined by professionalism, humility, and dedication to football both on and off the pitch. Ellen DeGeneres was born in Louisiana in a small suburban world that looked ordinary on the surface but carried its own quiet weight beneath it. Her childhood unfolded in a home that began with warmth and laughter, where her parents created an environment that felt stable and familiar. Her mother brought a lightness into the house through music and humor, while her father offered structure and routine through his steady work. For a young girl, This balance shaped her early understanding of safety, belonging, and identity. But that sense of stability changed when her parents separated during her teenage years, an event that shifted the emotional foundation of her life in ways she would only fully understand much later. The separation was not just a family change, it was a turning point that left her navigating uncertainty during a formative age when identity is still being shaped. Around her, life continued with appearances of normalcy, yet internally, she began developing a deeper awareness of emotional complexity and human behavior. She found herself observing people closely, noticing tone, timing, and the subtle ways humor could ease tension in difficult moments. This observation slowly turned into instinct, and instinct eventually became expression. Even before she understood it professionally, humor became her way of processing emotions that felt too heavy to speak directly. As she grew older, she left home early and stepped into a world that was far less structured. She worked a variety of jobs, from restaurants to small offices, experiencing the realities of everyday labor while quietly carrying the feeling that she was meant for something different. These years were not glamorous, but they were formative, shaping her resilience, patience, and ability to find humor in ordinary situations. In small clubs and informal settings, she eventually began experimenting with stand-up comedy, discovering that her voice connected with people in a way she had not experienced before. What started as simple observations soon became performances that revealed a unique perspective, one that blended honesty with lightness. This early period was not about fame or recognition, but about discovery, the gradual realization that her voice had a place in the world beyond the life she had known in Louisiana. The rise of a stand-up comedian and first steps into fame. As Ellen DeGeneres continued performing in small venues, her style began to stand out in a comedy landscape that often favored louder, sharper tones. Her approach was different, built on observation rather than exaggeration, and rooted in everyday experiences that audiences instantly recognized. She had a way of turning ordinary situations into reflections that felt both funny and deeply human, allowing people to see themselves in her stories without feeling judged. This uniqueness gradually earned her attention in the stand-up circuit, where she began receiving invitations to perform on larger stages and television programs. One of her early breakthroughs came when she was recognized in a national comedy competition, a moment that signaled she was no longer just an emerging performer, but someone with growing influence. The turning point in her career came when she appeared on a major late-night talk show, delivering a performance that resonated so strongly with both the audience and the host that it immediately elevated her visibility. That appearance opened doors across the entertainment industry, leading to television roles, specials, and eventually her own sitcom. The sitcom became a defining moment in her rise, introducing her personality to millions of viewers who connected with her relatable humor and natural screen presence. Her character reflected everyday awkwardness, emotional honesty, and a gentle comedic rhythm that set the show apart from others at the time. The success of the series positioned her as one of the most recognizable comedic voices of her generation, and her popularity continued to grow as she became a frequent guest across major television platforms. Yet even as her fame expanded, she remained closely tied to her roots in stand-up, often returning to live audiences where her comedic instincts were first shaped. This period of her life represented not just professional success, but also the building of a distinctive identity in entertainment, one defined by warmth, relatability, and an ability to connect with audiences across different backgrounds. It was the foundation upon which everything else in her career would eventually be built. A defining personal turning point and reinvention in television. As Ellen DeGeneres entered the next stage of her career, she faced a deeply personal and professional turning point that would redefine her public identity. At the height of her sitcom success, she made the decision to share a truth about herself that she had kept private for years. This moment was not just a public announcement, but a personal step into authenticity, shaped by years of reflection and emotional preparation. The reveal took place in a highly visible way through both her character and her real-life identity, creating one of the most discussed television moments of its time. The response was immediate and widespread, with many people praising the courage it took to be open on such a large platform, while others struggled to understand it within the cultural context of the period. Professionally, the aftermath brought a significant shift in her career trajectory. The sitcom ended not long after, and she found herself stepping away from the spotlight that had defined her for years. This period marked a time of uncertainty, where opportunities were limited and the future of her career was unclear. Yet it also became a period of reinvention. Instead of retreating, she gradually rebuilt her presence in entertainment through stand-up performances, guest appearances, and voice work in major animated films. One of the most notable roles during this time was a character in a globally successful animated film, which reintroduced her to audiences in a completely different form and helped reshape her public image. The character she voiced became widely beloved, and the success of the film brought her back into mainstream recognition. This phase of her life demonstrated resilience and adaptability, showing her ability to evolve creatively even after major professional setbacks. It also marked the beginning of a new chapter where she would redefine herself not through scripted television, but through a more personal and conversational style of entertainment that would soon become her signature. The daytime show era and cultural impact of a new kind of celebrity. The launch of Ellen DeGeneres' daytime talk show marked one of the most successful phases of her career and transformed her into a daily presence in millions of homes. The format of the show was simple yet powerful, built around conversation, humor, music, and moments of genuine human connection. Unlike traditional talk shows that often relied on formal interviews, her approach was relaxed and spontaneous, creating an atmosphere where guests and audiences felt equally included. One of the defining features of the show was her consistent use of dance as an opening gesture, which became a signature expression of joy and set the tone for each episode. Over time, the show developed a reputation for uplifting storytelling, often featuring everyday people whose lives were changed through unexpected acts of generosity or recognition. These moments became central to the show's identity and contributed to its widespread popularity. The program ran for nearly 2 decades, earning numerous awards and establishing itself as one of the most influential daytime shows in television history. Beyond entertainment, it also shaped cultural conversations around kindness, empathy, and visibility, particularly for communities that had previously lacked representation in mainstream media. Her influence extended beyond television into broader cultural spaces, where she became associated with positivity and encouragement. However, like many long-running media institutions, the show also went through periods of public scrutiny and reflection, which led to broader discussions about workplace culture and celebrity responsibility. These conversations became part of the larger narrative surrounding her legacy, adding complexity to her public image. Despite this, the show's impact on daytime television remains significant, having redefined what a talk show could look like and how it could connect with audiences on a personal level. It was a period that solidified her position as one of the most recognizable and influential figures in modern entertainment. Later years, Farewell to Television on Personal Reflection. In the later years of her career, Ellen DeGeneres began to shift her focus away from the daily demands of her talk show and toward a quieter personal life. After nearly 2 decades of continuous production, she announced that the show would come to an end, marking the close of a significant chapter in television history. The final season reflected on years of conversations, performances, and moments that had defined her connection with audiences around the world. As the show concluded, she expressed gratitude for the experiences it had brought her and the people she had met along the way. The transition out of daily television allowed her to step into a new phase of life that was less structured and more reflective. Away from the constant schedule of production, she began focusing on personal interests, creative exploration, and time with her family. This period also allowed her to reflect on the different stages of her journey, from her early days in Louisiana to her rise in stand-up comedy, her breakthroughs in television, and her long-standing presence in daytime entertainment. Each phase carried its own challenges and achievements, shaping her understanding of success, resilience, and identity. In interviews and reflections, she often spoke about the importance of authenticity, personal growth, and learning from both success and difficulty. Her story became less about a single role or achievement and more about the evolution of a career built over decades. Even after stepping away from daily television, her influence in entertainment and popular culture remained significant, with her work continuing to be recognized for its impact on audiences worldwide. The later stage of her life represents a shift from constant visibility to thoughtful reflection, where legacy is measured not only by awards or ratings, but by the lasting connection formed with people over time.